What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another album reaction. Today is release day. It is Friday. That is right, man. It's fucking Friday. I can't believe it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I love Fridays. Why do I love Fridays? Because one of my favorite bands just released a brand new album. CheVelle. Bright as Blasphemy. Very excited to get it in. I came home today and bam, it was on my porch. Signed. It is Coke bottle green, black and red variant splatter. It's beautiful. Would you guys like to see it? Well, before we begin, I guess I could show you, right? I could show you. And this is not really an album review. I mean, like an album recap, but this is the Coke bottle green, transparent Coke bottle green, black and red splatter variant, and this is the only way you can get this is for the band to sign the album. This is one of the variants that I bought at 2:30 in the morning. That's right, 2:30 a.m. As soon as they announced that they were dropping a new album, I bought this. I was like, it's happening. This is gonna be the first time. No, actually, it's the second time getting CheVelle on the actual channel. Never did a bio for them. Even though I know pretty much about this band because they are one of my favorite bands in the entire world. So I'm going to read this bio just for the sake of it. It's going to be the full bio. So yeah, it's going to get kind of boring. I won't be able to read all of your stuff that you guys are saying in the chat, maybe. I'll try my best. All right, let's jump into it. CheVelle is an American rock band formed in Grays Lake, Illinois, in 1995. The band was originally composed of two brothers, Pete Loeffler, lead vocals and guitar, and Sam Loeffler, drums and percussion, along with Matt Scott, bass and backing vocals. Scott was replaced by Sam and Pete's brother, Joe Loeffler, in 1996. When Joe left the band in 2005, Gino Leonardo subbed in as the touring bassist until he was replaced by Pete and Sam's brother-in-law, Dean Bernardini. Dean Bernardini. Dean Bernard... That's an Italian name. Dean Bernardini. Sorry. Bernardini departed from the band in 2019, and in 2021, Kemba Walters joined the band as a touring bassist. The band's first studio album, Point Number 1, was released on a small record label called Squint Entertainment. CheVelle's second album, Wonder What's Next, my favorite, 2002, was certified double platinum by the RIAA after a debut at number 14 on the United States album charts. Billboard 200, This Type of Thinking Could Do Us In, that's what I was playing at the very beginning, 2004. The band's third album debuted at number 8 and has been certified platinum. Did not know that. CheVelle has since released 7 more albums. Vena Sera, another one of my favorites, 2007. Sci-Fi Crimes, 2009. Hats Off to the Bull, 2011. La Gargola, 2014. The North Corridor, 2016. Nothing is Real and This Is All Simulation, 2021. And Bright as Blasphemy, 2025. Other releases from CheVelle include 2 live albums, 2 DVDs, and 2 compilation albums. As of 2022, the band has sold over 6 million records. That is awesome. So, real quick about La Gargola. I saw them on the tour during the La Gargola, where they had these like mines. You were meant to be like a sea of people. They have like these mines that they would place on the stage and be like a minefield that you would like have to go through and stuff. It was really cool. The only band and the first band that I ever crowd surfed to was the song I Get It off of Vena Sera. But yeah, La Gargola, whenever they were promoting their album La Gargola, they did a Facebook thing where people could choose the names of the songs. So I gave them one of the names of the songs, and lo and behold, they chose that name for the song. So that's a pretty cool side quest from my part, right? History. Formation, point number 1. and Wonder What's Next, 1995-2003. CheVelle formed in 1995 in Grayslake, Illinois, when brothers Pete Loeffler and Sam Loeffler started enjoying and learning to play music. Pete started playing guitar and singing while Sam began playing drums in their parents' garage. Bassist Matt Scott was also in the band until 1996. Their youngest brother, Joe Loeffler, joined the band, replacing Scott. Each of the band's members were self-taught musicians. The name CheVelle came from the band's members' passion for fast cars. I knew that. It was also a car their father liked, the Chevrolet CheVelle, one of my dream cars, 1976. The band started playing small outdoor concerts and clubs around Chicago, Illinois, with Joe being only 14 years old. Did not know that. So they started about the same time that Filter started. CheVelle recorded a 7-track demo known as the Blue Album, released in 1998. The band played small concerts for the next 3 years until they were signed to Steve Taylor's Squint Entertainment, a contemporary Christian music label. I did not know that. The band recorded with Steve Albini for 17 days in Electrical Audio Studios and released its first full-length album, Point Number 1, in 1999. 2 singles were released from the album with accompanying music videos, Point Number 1 and Mia. Mia is one of my favorite tracks from this band. The songs received GMA Dove Awards in 2000 and Point Number 1 in 2001. The album received an award for Hard Music Album in 2000 by the Dove Awards. The album was well received by Phantom Tollbooth and HM Magazine, yet was criticized for its repetitive song structures by Jesus Freak Hideout, a Christian music website. The band's label at the time was going through legal troubles as World Records was attempting to wrest control of Squint from Taylor. This caused uncertainty with the band's future. Discussing the legal battle, bassist Joe Effler stated, "We weren't sure if anything was going to happen after that. It was pretty crazy. I wonder what's next." Right. Nice little play on words there. CheVelle toured as support to bands such as Seven Dust, Machine Head, Filter, and Powerman 5000. In this period, Squint Entertainment closed down in 2001 and the band signed with Epic Records in 2002. In 2002, CheVelle released its second studio album, Wonder What's Next, my favorite, on Epic Records. The band released the single The Red, which reached number 3 on the mainstream rock charts, and the video was played in regular rotation on MTV. Wonder What's Next soon peaked at number 14 on the United States Billboard 200 album chart. Brian O'Neill of AllMusic stated the album offers uniqueness not often heard in more commercial fare, no mean featuring. So there's no features on this album. CheVelle released 2 more singles from the album, Closure and Send the Pain Below, the latter of which received the number 1 position on both of the mainstream rock and modern rock charts. Wonder What's Next was certified double platinum by RIAA, with excess sales of 1 million copies sold in the United States alone in 2003. CheVelle was nominated for 3 awards in the 2003 Billboard Music Awards, 1 as a band and 2 for their song Send the Pain Below. The categories were nominated for were Modern Rock Artist, Modern Rock Track, and Top Rock Song. In 2003, CheVelle performed at Ozzfest, where the band recorded and later released its first live album, Live from the Road, and a live DVD, Live from the Norva, on October 14, 2003. In 2003, the band was featured on the Music as a Weapon Part 2 tour with Disturbed. On the tour with Disturbed, CheVelle appeared on the tour compilation album titled Music as a Weapon Part 2. Featuring the songs The Red and Forfeit. Forfeit is an amazing track. Keith Miller of EvangelSociety.org was critical of CheVelle for touring with Ozzfest with such bands as Cradle of Filth, who he claimed incorporated strong satanic and anti-Christian themes into their lyrics. CheVelle held their first major headlining tour from November 1st to December 17th, 2003. The tour started in Cleveland and ended in Chicago. In 2004, Sam Loeffler said, "It's something that's probably going to follow us around forever, and that's fine. It's pretty simple. We originally signed with a record company that was backed by World, a Christian label housing John Tesh and Amy Grant. So point number one was in Christian bookstores. It was really an accidental thing." Sam also told the Chicago Tribune, "Our faith is still extremely important to us, but it's also very personal. None of us feel being a rock band on stage should be a pedestal for preaching." Lineup changes. This type of thinking could do us in, and Vena Sera, 2004 to 2008. This type of thinking could do us in was recorded in early 2004 and was released on September 21st, 2004. The album debuted at number 8 on the Billboard 200 and was certified gold by the RIAA 6 weeks later. Johnny Loftus of AllMusic described the songs on the album as strong dynamically, but sound predetermined. They don't separate from original loud rock malaise, quote unquote. The song Vitamin R, Leading Us Along, was released as the first single from the album and reached number 1 position on the mainstream rock chart. 2 other singles were released from the album, the titles of which are The Clincher, peaking at number 3 on the mainstream rock chart, and Panic Prone, another one of my favorites, which peaked at number 26 on the same rock chart. The band's song, The Clincher, was featured in the video game Madden NFL 2005. After the release of the album, the youngest of the brothers, Joe Loeffler, was dismissed from CheVelle. Due to different stories from band members, it is unclear whether he was fired or left the band on his own accord. Pete and Sam stated the following on the band's official website, quote unquote, "After 3 years of non-stop touring and recording, Joe is taking a break to be home with his family. We'll miss having him on the road with us, but as his brother and bandmates, we respect his decision and are looking forward to getting out of here, playing for the fans. See you on tour," quote unquote. However, according to Ultimate Guitar Archive, Joe said he was fired. The band supported this type of thinking could do us in with a headlining tour that included opening acts such as Taproot and 30 Seconds to Mars, and continued playing small tours in 2005 with Gino Leonardo from the band Filter. In August 2003, the Loeffler brothers' brother-in-law and longtime friend Dean Bernardini joined the band as their newest bassist. In 2006, CheVelle supported Nickelback for an arena tour across the United States. In 2006, the band recorded their 4th studio album titled Vena Sera. The album was the first album CheVelle recorded with Bernardini. Vena Sera was released on April 3rd, 2007, debuting at number 12 on Billboard 200, and sold 62,000 copies during its first week of release. The title of the album translates to vein liquid, yes, I knew this already, in Latin, representing the blood CheVelle put into making this album, according to Pete. Corey Apar of AllMusic states that Vena Sera probably won't disappoint fans, and it didn't. It for the sole fact that it basically sounds like CheVelle's other albums, quote unquote. He noted that the song I Get It has a relatively lighter underbelly than the rest, which is a nice change of pace, but it is ultimately too little too late. Well Enough Alone, their first single on the album, was written about the departure of Joe Loeffler and reached number 4 on the mainstream rock charts. CheVelle toured with Evanescence and Finger 11 during March and April 2007. Followed by a headlining tour with Finger 11 and Strata, another fucking amazing band, in May and June. The second single from the album, I Get It, was released on June 12, 2007, and a video for the song debuted on MTV on November 27, 2007. In July of the same year, CheVelle toured Australia as a supporting act for the band The Butterfly Effect, an amazing Australian rock band. On the tour in Australia, CheVelle's band manager, Rose, died of cancer, much to the distress of the band. On May 9, 2007, during a show in Fort Worth, Texas, CheVelle's trailer containing all of the band's equipment was stolen from the hotel and at which the members were staying. The band posted a notice saying most items are labeled CheVelle, and if you notice anything suspicious on eBay or other online resellers selling authentic, quote-unquote, CheVelle items, guitar bases, drums, amplifiers, risers, backdrops, t-shirts, please call the police. A month later, in an interview, Sam Loeffler stated, of the 14 guitars, we got 2 of them. Oh my god. And then we got some amplifiers back in our monitor system. So it's really, I mean, it's cool because it's kind of like a Christmas, only really weird. People have been calling us and saying, hey, I bought this or that, and we're just doing our best to buy it back from them. And certainly the issue is not a money issue, it's about having the pieces of gear that you did all your records with. Yeah, I feel that. Sci-Fi Crimes and Hats Off to the Bull, 2009, 2012. In 2009, CheVelle entered the studio in Nashville, Tennessee, with producer Brian Virtue. Now, funny story about Tennessee. My first successful band that I was actually in, Still Searching, had an offer from Brian Virtue himself for us to record down there, but my lead singer turned it down because he didn't want to travel. So we could have been producing an album at Tennessee, but that didn't work out. Sam Loeffler stated, we have spent a lot of time making these songs something different from past records without losing the core of our passion. We're a hard rock melodic band, and it's still what drives us as musicians. The new album, titled Sci-Fi Crimes, was released on August 31st, 2009, peaking at number 6 on the Billboard 200 album chart with sales of about 46,000, the highest entry onto the chart to date for the band. The album was praised by Jared Johnson of AllMusic for taking a step in a new direction in regards to lyrics. Pete Loeffler normally wrote lyrics about personal subjects. However, on Sci-Fi Crimes, he wrote stories including apparitions, conspiracy theories, and erratic sleeping conditions, sleep apnea. The tour following the release of the Sci-Fi Crimes was in the late 2009. Hailstorm opened for CheVelle on this tour. Hailstorm opened for CheVelle? Cool. What's up, Spence? How you doing? CheVelle also joined Hailstorm, Stain, and Shinedown on Stimulate This tour starting in July 2009. In January 2011, CheVelle released a live CD DVD combo, Any Last Words. The release was part of CheVelle's 10-year anniversary as a recording band as a special offer for fans. Part of the pre-order package included a t-shirt and the fan's name in the thank you part of the album booklet. Yeah, man. Welcome back. On December 6th, 2011, CheVelle released Hats Off to the Bull, their 6th studio album. The album's first single was titled Face to the Floor, which reached number 3 on Billboard Rock Songs chart. The album debuted at number 20 on the Billboard charts and sold 43,000 copies in its first week of release. Joe Barresi, who produced Hats Off to the Bull, said, Joe Barresi, who produced Hats Off to the Bull, said of the album, rather than simply subscribing to a tried and true formula, they made a conscious effort to incorporate new sounds and textures into their patented airtight anthems. As a result, Hats Off to the Bull is one of the group's most infectious and impressive offerings to date. AllMusic reviewer Gregory Haney, geez, how many reviewers you guys got at AllMusic? Stated the album is heavy and dramatic. The album is packed fully of tightly coiled, muscular riffs, giving the album a controlled feeling more like a slow burn than an explosive, cathartic release. CheVelle was nominated for Rock Band of the Year in 2012 Loudwire Music Awards. Also, a compilation album of band favorites called Stray Arrows, a collection of favorites, was released to stores on December 4th, 2012. The compilation includes 11 songs and previously unreleased track Fizz Gig. The Best Buy version has 15 songs in the track Fizz Gig. La Gargola, The North Quarter, and the departure of Dean Bernardini. After wrapping up touring in support of Hats Off to the Bull 2013, CheVelle entered the studio to record their 7th album, re-teaming with Joe Barresi to produce the album. Recording and production finished early in 2014, and the band announced in February 1st that the album, to be released April 1st, 2014, would be titled La Gargola, Spanish for the Gargoyle. Yep, I knew that already. Lead singer Pete Loeffler describes the album is about the dark underbelly of American culture. The first single from the album, titled Take Out the Gunman, was released on February 3rd, 2014. The other singles from the album are Hunter Eats Hunter and An Island. Another amazing song. The album reached the top of the rock album chart in April 2014. CheVelle was nominated for 4 awards at the 2014 Loudwire Music Awards. The categories were Best Rock Band, Best Rock Album, La Gargola, Best Bassist, Dean Bernardini, and Best Rock Song, Take Out the Gunman. In an interview with 105.7 The Point on May 23, 2015, the band stated that after their last show of their tour in St. Louis, they would focus on writing new material, and that future work would be moving in a heavier sounding direction. On May 10, 2016, the band announced that their new album will be titled The North Corridor, which was released on July 8, 2016. The first single from the album is Joyride Omen, which became their 5th song to reach number 1 on the hot mainstream rock tracks. The other 2 singles from the album are Door to Door Cannibals and Rivers. In October 2018, CheVelle released a compilation album titled 12 Bloody Spies, featuring B-sides, covers, rarities, and remixes. On August 1st, 2019, the band launched a craft beer in collaboration with Revolution Brewing. The beer the band launched is a German-style Helles Lager and is called La Gargola, or La Gargoyle, named after the band's 7th album. On September 20th, 2019, Bernardini announced his departure from the band. Raw video. Yeah, it's an awesome song. Nothing is real, and this is all simulation. And Bright as Blasphemy, 2019 to present day. In June 2019, the band announced that they had entered the studio with longtime producer Joe Barresi. Along with the announcement, drummer Sam Loeffler said they had been writing material a year and a half, meaning the process of making this album had taken longer than usual. In an interview with KCOW 96.7's radioactive Mike Z in September 2019, vocalist Pete Loeffler stated, quote unquote, "We went really dark on the last 2 albums, really heavy and more metal. That's personally where I like to be, and I want to live on stage, but this record, Barresi was like, let's try to do some melodic stuff. So I went down that road." On November 8th, 2020, the band released an acoustic version of the new song Endlessly, an amazing song. The band released a music video for their new song Self-Destructor on January 8th, 2021. The song is the lead single from their upcoming 9th album. This must be they didn't edit it. From their 9th album, an acronym for, it's called Nerlatias, an acronym for Nothing is Real and This is a simulation, which was released on March 5th to 2021. On January 29th, 2021, the band released the 2nd single from the album, Peach, an amazing track. And if you love Tool, I would definitely recommend this track. On February 19th, 2021, the band released the 3rd single from the album, Remember When, my favorite off the album. That and So Long Mother Earth. On March 5th, 2021, the band released the 4th single from the album, Endlessly. On March 8th, 2021, the band announced that Aegis guitarist and vocalist Kemble Walters is their new touring bassist. In a March 17, 2021 interview with Loudwire, Pete Loeffler states that despite the band selling over 6 million albums, they haven't gotten any money out of it. The money all went back to Epic. Wow. He blames it on signing a bad contract early on in his career. That's why I will never sign. On May 1st, 2021, the band released a music video for the song Mars Simula. Self-Destructor was included in the 2021 film Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. The band toured in September and November 2021 in promotion of the album, calling the tour the Nerlatias Tour. The November dates were later canceled, and the band stated it was due to changing circumstances beyond our control. In 2022, the band was nominated for Rock Artist of the Year at the iHeartRadio Music Awards. In April 2022, the band canceled one concert and postponed another due to Sam's testing positive for COVID-19. Fuck that disease. In June 2022, the band announced that they were entering the studio to record their 10th album in November or December, with plans of releasing the album in 2023. It will be their first release without a major record label due to their contract with Epic Records ending. In March 2023, the band confirmed that they were in the studio recording their new album. The band went on a US tour in September 2023 with 3 Days Grace and Loathe. In July 2024, the band announced that they signed with a new record label, Alchemy Recordings, and that their 10th album was tentatively due to come out in September or October of that year. However, both release dates were missed and the album was delayed to 2025. On March 25th, 2025, the band announced a new tour with supporting acts, Asking Alexandria and Dead Poets Society. The tour began in April 2025. The following day, they released the single Rabbit Hole, Cowards, Part 1. I have not heard a single track off this album, by the way. In an interview with Full Metal Jackie of Klaus Whiplash, drummer Sam Loeffler stated that their upcoming album was self-produced. Interesting. He described the process as the hardest thing he has ever done. Probably not worth it, but we did it. And we can say that we did it. That's why I do it myself too, because I can just say I did that. Their previous longtime producer, Joe Barresi, encouraged the band to self-produce their next album. Smart advice. Barresi produced all the band's albums since Hats Off to the Bull. Loeffler also stated that the song Cowards Part 2, Jim Jones, could be the album's second single. On May 14, 2025, a music video for Rabbit Hole, Cowards Part 1, was released. On May 28, 2025, the second single, Jim Jones, Cowards Part 2, was released, alongside an announcement for the band's 10th studio album, Bright as Blasphemy. The album was released on August 15th. May 28th, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning because something woke me up at 2:30 in the morning. I can't remember what it was, but something woke me up at 2:30 in the morning and told me to get on Instagram. Lo and behold, the first post I seen was an album announcement. I was like, I saw they're doing a signed vinyl version. I was like, that, I'm getting that. I don't know. I might have been one of the first to buy it, but yeah, I was so excited. All right. Musical style and influences. CheVelle has been classified as hard rock, alternative metal, alternative rock, post-grunge, new metal, progressive metal, and indie rock. What's going on, D20? How you doing? The band's debut album, Point Number 1, has been described as indie rock. The band's most popular albums, Wonder What's Next and This Type of Thinking Could Do Us In, are both described as new metal. Yes, they are. Wonder What's Next has been described as having a radio-friendly sound. Albums such as La Gargola and The North Corridor feature a more heavier, more riff-oriented sound with lyrical themes, including influenced by horror. Their ninth studio album, Nerdatias, Nothing Is Real and This Is a Simulation, incorporated elements of progressive rock and art rock along with a science fiction theme. Their primary musical influences, as stated by the band members, are Helmet, I knew that already, Tool, I knew that already, The Cure, did not know that. CheVelle had frequently been compared to Tool throughout its career, especially in the first two albums. Yes, they sound almost identical. Pete Loeffler's singing voice was stated to sound similar to that of Tool's MGK, yes, Maynard James Keenan. And the band's music has been compared to Tool's soft, loud vocal dynamics, according to Lauren Wise of Phoenix New Times. CheVelle never strayed far from their controlled chaos and somehow gentle rampage or their mix of dark magnetism and gothic pop. Think early Tool meets The Cure if you haven't heard radio-dominating hits like The Red. Despite comparisons to Tool, Many critics, such as Andre Farias and Andy, I can't say your name, Argyrakis of Christianity Today, has stated that CheVelle have stated CheVelle as having a unique sound to their music. Andre Farias of Christianity Today has reviewed CheVelle's first 3 albums, praising them as commanding vocals over jolting guitars and chest-thumping bass beats. In discussing the band's sound throughout their career, Rolf Stanchu of Sputnik Music stated, "It amazes me how CheVelle managed to maintain such a consistent output. They are always tweaking the overall sound in small amounts so that you will be constantly surprised." CheVelle's music has also been described as a kind of a controlled chaos, a beautiful darkness, a gentle rampage of aural velocity. The current members of CheVelle are Pete and Sam Loeffler. Pete is lead vocals, guitar, and bass. Sam is on drums. And also, I believe Sam is the one that produced this. Kemba Walters is the touring bassist and backing vocals. Former members are Matt Scott on bass, Joe Loeffler on bass and backing vocals. Matt Scott also did backing vocals. Dean Bernardini on bass, backing vocals, and additional drums. Did not know that. Former touring musicians Gino Leonardo on bass. The full discography for CheVelle is point number 1. Wonder what's next. This type of thinking could do us in. Vena Sera. Sci-Fi Crimes. Hats Off to the Bull. La Gargola. The North Corridor. Nothing is real and this is a simulation. And Bright as Blasphemy. Without further ado, I forgot compilation albums. Compilation albums are Straight Arrows, a collection of favorites, and 12 Bloody Spies. I haven't heard a single track off this. I'm excited. I'm beyond excited. And here I wasn't going to do an album reaction tonight, but lo and behold, here we are. Without further ado, the first track is called Pale Horse. Love that bass. Okay, all right, Pete. Nice head voice. Very unexpected. Nothing's making sense. Little victim gone. Fits feel random. Get involved. Not just the back of the hand. Come Sunday, ain't buying the mouth. I'm not risky. It's all just cobwebs till someone slips. Oh, why? Yeah. Oh, nice melodics, nice harmonies. That's something new. I've never heard that from him. That's cool. Vocals have never, ever gotten like tired or anything. He's pushing 60, dude. And he still sings fucking amazing. Really good production too. Yeah, dude, that's an awesome intro. Holy fuck, dude, that intro. I don't even know, like, dude, just listen to it. It's literally something they've never done, ever. And then this part. I love it. This is a good single, dude. I love this. Really, really cool intro. Not sure what the lyrics are getting at, to be honest. Pale Horse reminds me of like Revelations. So yeah, like one of the four horsemen. But we'll get into that later. I want to just talk about the fact that Pete can still sound this amazing, pushing almost 60 years old. I believe he's almost 60. Yeah. Is he already 60? I can't remember. He might be in his 50s. I can't remember. But dude, wow. Awesome. Dude, the production on this track is really good. Like really good. Especially for being self-produced. I wasn't expecting it to sound like this. Really, really cool. Good job on that, Sam. And Pete, dude, your head voice is just out of this world. Fucking awesome, dude. Like whenever you have like these little head voice bits, listen to this. Love the harmonies too, but the head voice is just really, really cool. It's something he's never done before, and I really, really like that.